Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Early this morning, Sunday morning. Well, we are here. Seems like just the other day was Sunday morning. And Eddie Marcus presenting himself before this camera, trying to reach you to say the same kinds of things that he was saying a week ago. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about it, every day we are talking about what's going on in our country presently. We're talking about the politics. We're talking about racism and bigotry and Republicans and Democrats. And we're not giving it any real positive tone. And we got our different reasons for why. But it's something that goes on. And I'm constantly asking you, do you hear any conversations about the solutions to the problems? Well, you can say that the Democrats are offering some proposals, uh, whether they meet serve as solutions to depend upon what you're trying to do. Uh, the Republicans, they're spending more time as it goes trying to destroy the system, it appears. But these are the things that we have to deal with. We talk about this constantly. And when I think about that, how much attention we give to the order of what's going on in our system right now, it makes me think about the attention that we give to the order of the system outside of politics. We are spending so much time talking about mega and all the wrong is done, but no solutions. We end up talking about sometimes the rest of the rest of the system outside of politics. And we get caught up in it, talking about it over and over and over again. We're going to do this, 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 over and over and over, generation after generation. Just like we talk about the current problems of the day. Just like they don't talk about a solution to the current problems of the day, we don't talk about solutions to the current problems of every everyday life. We mention them, mention some talk, but the solutions, no, we don't deal with solutions. It's just a bunch of talk. But I wanted to take advantage of this moment, ladies and gentlemen. See, after 40 years of trying to reach you and have failed, maybe I'd like to ask you this. And I'm speaking to each of you today, this morning. How many of you who are adults or can think had a vision of you having a career that you were going to be about something in your life? If you aren't, that you were going to be. And for those of you who haven't gotten to that point yet where you can claim it, that you are working on it and you believe it can happen, how many of you, I would like to say in your behalf, that every last one of you dream of a career and one that you love. I'd like to say that in your behalf. And because you do that, and it's something that you love, there is nothing in your imagination that you can see that you won't be able to do that any other person can do. You might not be able to do their career, but I'm talking about exercising the usage and receiving from the usage, the resources that we have been creating, getting what we want out of them. We might not want the same things, but what we want is what we want, and using what we have made, we can get satisfied. You see, to me, this is something that is absolutely fantastic. You got your career, you participated in making everything that exists that we know were made by the hands of man today. Everything. That was the way it was designed to, except maybe it was designed to be done by those who love doing it. And it was supposed to be done because not only did they love doing it, it was required by the decision of the people that these things become available to them. Now, and because the resources are free, there were no limitations on it. The resources were free, and the people were donating their labor, because in so doing, in so working, as I said a moment ago, it entitled them to those things that are common amongst us all. Not only that career, but it also entitled you to housing. That career that you have entitled you to food and clothing. That career that you have entitled you to education as you see you need. That career that you have entitled you to health care as it might be needed, and transportation. And as I mentioned a moment ago, that career entitles you to be having your access anything that had been made by the hands of man, because you worked and became a part of the process. Now, your career did that. Now, your career did that for you, whether it was done and allowed everybody to receive from that reservoir of goods and services whatever they want free. And if you can't see that it was designed so that it can be received by the people free, then look at it like this. Every person that works must have accessible to them enough money to access and do anything they want to do. It's like giving them a carte blanche. They just walk around with a card. Anything they want, they can do it. They can do it because the card says, I am entitled. The card says, I am entitled. So you get your house, you get your education, you get your health care, you get your transportation, you get your food, you get your clothing, you get everything, that your transportation, your travels, your vacation, all of that. Either on that card or with money that is sufficient enough to allow you to do everything you want to do. Now, if you want to use money, money's fine. If it doesn't prevent you from doing the things that you want to do. If it prevents you, then it's evil. So, when we start talking about voting, what are votes about? Votes about what people want. That's what we have said. Or what you want to influence on. That's what we have said. So every individual, I'm telling you, who I just mentioned, got a right, a God-given right to have a career. And by having that career, you got a God-given right to vote. There's no debate by do you vote or don't you vote. You vote. There's no laws got to be made to pass. No, it's automatic. You vote. You got something to say, and it matters. And everything else the same dead blasted way. And the only way that can happen to me, to you and me, ladies and gentlemen, look at it like this. We got to put an invisible force, God, on the throne, and not a man. Let me tell you something. Do you know in the Bible, when you open it up, they put a picture in there. They told you all they wanted to tell you about God, whatever that might be. But then they put a picture in there to connect you to God. And what did that picture do? It changed everything. All of a sudden, the black man had thought he was God. Yellow man thought he was God. Red man thought he was God. White man put a picture in the book that says, I'm God. Because what? Everything in the book is true. So stop playing games with yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Any man, even if you put me, as much love as I talk about, on the throne, president, you won't do it, but even if you did, and as much love as I have for you through God, I'm still going to fall short. There's some bigotry in me. I don't know what it is, but it's there. There's some, living this life, there's some hatred in me. Don't know what it is. It manifests itself every now and then. I see it. So all these things happen. And you look, put me on that throne if you want to. It's okay to put me on the throne if I can represent God as far as you can line it up. And what is you lining it up with? Things that works versus things that don't. So when you wake up today, Sunday, and many of you will be listening to church on radio and maybe TV. Many of you will be watching cable news, and you're going to hear all this continuous talk about the problems of the day. You're going to hear Democrats saying, well, we got some solutions. We want to invest this and that. Invest in this and that. Stop talking about money. Start talking about fixing. We're going to fix the infrastructure. We're going to make sure that every bridge in this city, in this town, in this state, in this country is pristine. We're going to make sure that our roads are. We're going to make sure that our dams and reservoirs are. We're going to make sure that our street signs and our buildings and everything is just working perfectly. We're going to make sure that every ragged car is fixed and brought up to date. We're going to make sure that everybody got access to what you used to say. You know, when you used to be talking about God, you used to talk about how wonderful God is. At least that's what black folks were taught. I don't really know what white folks were taught, but black folks was taught that God was love. And the things that I talked to you about, like God has prepared for us to have food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, and all those other things to produce peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy, happiness in our lives, and live the dreams. See, we were taught that this is God. And the way that this is to happen is for us to allow God, that kind of God, to live in us and let us protect one another from anything that would take stuff from us, like liars, like alternative truths that would cause pain and suffering and hatred and racism and bigotry. We were taught to leave all that stuff alone. But we're living in a world today where that's all we got coming. It seems everybody want to tell you a lie. Everybody got a lie. And you trying to figure, you the people, trying to figure out what lie to follow. I ask you, which one of those lies work for you and everybody else? So if you're choosing a lie that works for you but doesn't work for everybody else, you're part of the problem. This is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody got something to say. But who is saying something that works for you, me, us, all of us? If you're not saying that kind of stuff, please, don't let the devil use you like that. Santos, what that dude name in DeSantis, the guy down in Florida. Man, stop trying to mess up God's plan. You know doggone well you don't have nothing to offer the American people. All you looking for is power. You can tell it when you run your mouth. Let me tell you something. People who are hungry for power, when they open their mouths, you can hear it. DeSantis is one. He didn't have any compassion for the masses of the people. Maybe some, but as far as the masses of the